Welcome to Traders Compass Technical Analysis Learning Program. First of all, let me thank you all friends for your support and love, for the prayers, blessings and the suggestions given by you. I'm not comfortable, but still I try to record the video. So if there is any disturbance from my side, please bear with me for today. After completion of the first series, I received a couple of queries, general queries like, sir, what is the good strategy? What is the better time frame that I can use for my trading system? Or else, what is the success rate? What should be the success rate of a good strategy where I want to make money consistently in the intraday trading or in kind of positional trading? These kind of queries I received a lot. Let me tell you very clearly about this, friends. It doesn't matter what kind of strategy you follow or what is the time frame you follow or what is the success rate of the strategy you are having. It only matters how you are maintaining your risk reward, how you are maintaining your risk management and money management, and how good your entry is in the particular trade. That is what all it matters. See, uh, everywhere we cannot take the entry. It doesn't, no, it's not possible at all. Today I, even in the channel also, I asked this question. Here if you look at the chart, see, after that big candle there is a shooting star, clear shooting star, or kind of a gravestone doji. Okay, but the market did not fall, it started going up. So it has taken your SL, it hit the stop loss. Why it failed? I don't say that candlesticks give you 100% accuracy. At least 70-80% accuracy they can give you, but if you use few kind of small things, then you can avoid these kind of mistakes. See, let's make it very simple. Why this failed here? And even though this hanging man is very small, but still, why such a great fall is here? Why such a great fall is? See, even you can see here one small gravestone dozy, but it could not cope up. Here it was completely gone. Now what are the reasons for this? If you look into bit deeper, see, I'm not trying to convince you, but yes, with the candlesticks you should use few of the technical things which you are going to learn in our learning program. See, if you look at this, there is a strong support at this particular levels. Did you observe that? See, every time the chart came here, it fall from here, it tried to take a support from here. So what is this support, resistance levels and all that I'll explain. Don't get confused. Now recently it took a reversal from here, so let's consider this level. Okay, I just want to make a straight line, so let's take a line, horizontal line, right? Now I'm trying to put a line. You see this candles reversal, and there it trying to take a support, so I just mark this level. I'm marking with these levels. Okay, I'll explain you what is support, resistance levels, how to mark these levels and all. We have a specific syllabus for this series, for this entire series. This is what we are going to cover in second series, like support, resistance levels, how to draw support, resistance levels, and supply demand zones, how to identify which is supply zone, which is demand zone, or a zone which can work as a supply or demand zone, and how to identify that. Then again, trading entry, exit, SL, which is more important. As I told you, the entry of a trade can decide whether you are going to make it or break it. The entry of your trade is going to decide whether you are going to make money or lose money. And then, what are moving averages? Are they really helpful? How can we use it in a better way? And what kind of numbers can be useful? Like, few people say 13 moving average, few people say 8 moving average, 20 moving average, 50 moving average, 150 moving average, and exponential moving averages, simple moving averages. So which one will be better? How we can use this? and why pivot points work beautifully in stock market. See, as I told you, I don't use any indicator. I repeat this, I don't use any indicator. I don't try to teach you any indicator kind of Ichimoku or Bollinger Bands or whatever ADX or kind of things. No. Then why you are telling about this? Why this moving average? Why this pivot points? Why this Fibonacci numbers? Are they not kind of indicators? I'll explain you everything. No, they are not kind of indicators. They are something different when compared to other indicators. They are different. I'll explain you how. Okay, in-depth study of RSI, relative strength index, how it is going to help you in market, especially for positional and even for intraday, and special intraday strategy for Nifty, especially Nifty. By dumping some 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees every day, you can take 5 to 10% of your capital on a consistency basis. I tell consistency basis. I repeat, consistency basis. That means regularly. If you hit SL, you may going to lose some 700 rupees, 800 rupees, or 10,000 or 1,000 rupees. And if you hit target, you may get 1,500 to 2,000, which is double of the risk. So this I'm going to teach you once the channel subscriber members are above 225 only. I'm not asking you any fee, right? It's completely free of course. I'm giving you just a word of publicity. I'm asking you, are a kind of a spread those who are really needed. I don't need big numbers. I need quantity. I don't need quantity. I need quality. Good number of people who are learning. See, that boosts us, that inspires us, that gives some kind of motivation to us. Okay, now this is what actually we we planned for this series. It may be kind of like the support resistance levels and supply demand zones may take one day, and then trading entry SL and complete deep explanation, it may take hardly one day. Then moving average is one day, pivots one day, strength of Fibonacci is one day, and depth study of RSI one day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, rather 5 days or 6 days, or in a week. In a week time we can cover up all this. And then according to the subscribers or the numbers, we are going to deal with a special intraday strategy. Believe me friends, it can work you all. Okay, it can work everyone. And before entering to these topics, I'm just going to discuss why today it failed. See, that's where it's exactly at the support level. If you draw with the previous levels, the entry, once this kind of dragonfly kind of a gravestone dozy formed or shooting star formed, the entry which you are taking for the shorting of sorry for the shorting of Nifty, is it the right entry? As I told you, your entry decides whether you are going to make it or break it. If you look at here, the entry is not clear because you are taking short position at support. Support means where the buyers are waiting to ready to buy, and you are shorting it, which is completely wrong. That's why it failed here. It took the support, buyers entered, see the price rejection, buyers enter, and it went up. They tried to push it up one more time, they couldn't. One more time they couldn't. One more time they couldn't. One more time they couldn't. See, there is a fight between buyers and sellers. Finally, at some stage later on, buyers said, okay, bye bye, we cannot handle this. So whenever it is coming to this level, so here you can short with an SL of either 9421 or with an SL of this level, say high level with 5 point, or you can short here, and it started falling down because it started from this level, right? So it started from this level and it reached that level. So that's the beauty of candlesticks. As I told you, from wherever it starts, it reaches there. We studied like this, right? Uptrend, then hanging man here, the stock will take a reversal, possible reversal, with a kind of, from where the stock will fall, to the level from where it started. So that's what exactly it happened. Almost 100 points. It did 100 points fall from the day high. Okay. Now coming to sir, how do I know whether there is a support and there is a resistance? Why do we need this? Hey, in stock market there are only two things. One is buying, another one is selling. So buyers win 50%, sellers win 50%. That's it, right? Simple as that. Either one has to win, either buyer has to win or seller has to win. So 50-50%. Is it really possible to deal with a 50-50 percentage scenario? How to win the trade? See, in English there is a saying, whatever you do, always house wins. That means house means here the place where you play gambles, kind of a poker, poker, rummy. I'm really sorry guys, I thought of making it later, but it's already delaying, so I don't want to waste your time. That's why I'm recording this. Either way, I'm going through the medication. Let's hope for the better. Okay. So the people who are playing rummy or kind of poker, gambles, or kind of anything, okay, they play with a 50-50 percentage. Very fair game, no cheating, nothing. Very fair game, 50-50 percentage. But still, whomsoever plays there, end of the day, there is a saying that he is going to leave some part of amount with the house. House means the gamble company, whatever it is running. So how it happens? Is it really true? Yes, guys, let me tell you. As I told you, the only now, do we really need this? Yes, we really need this, because people are asking me for good strategy and better time frame. Yes, of course, time frame matters. Time frame matters, and strategy and success rate, they really don't matter. I believe. I believe they really don't matter. No, it purely depends upon your entry and your emotion. That's it. These two things are going to dominate your trade in live market. Now you may ask me, sir, how my entry is going to boom up, how it is going to make good money. Yes, that is what I'm going to deal with now. Let's suppose there are two friends A and B which are playing a game with a 50-50 probability. So A wins 50% and B wins 50%, right? Let's suppose they have a deal of every bet should be played with 100 rupees. Every bet should play with an amount of rupees 100. Now if A has to win, either A has to win or B has to win. Let's suppose if A is winning, then he is going to get 2 rupees less. That means 98 rupees he gains. That remaining 2 rupees, that is nothing but 1% of total amount. See, they're investing 200 rupees, right? 100 rupees he is investing, 100 rupees he is investing. They are going to a gamble bet, and the winning rate is 50-50. So if A wins, he is going to get 98 rupees as profit. So his 100 plus 98, it will become 198, because the 2 rupees, or rather the 1 percentage, that 1 percentage is nothing but the fee. Rather you call it as charges or whatever. The 1 percentage is their fee. Who is charging? B is charging this fee. Now let's suppose if B wins, what he is going to get? See, as I said, 100 rupees he is going to win this 100. So 100 plus 100, 200, plus more 2 rupees, which is going to be 1% of the fee. So 202 rupees he is going to win. B is going to win 202. So if B wins, he receives 202 rupees. If A wins, he receives 198 rupees, which is nothing but 1% of the fees. Okay. Now let's suppose this we calculated for rupees 100. Let's suppose in a day they are trading, they are playing the game with 10,000 rupees. And so as usual, B has to invest 10,000 rupees, right? So in each bet they are investing 20,000 rupees. Guys, don't get confused with all the numbers. The theory, let it be little difficult, but try to get the summary what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, it can help you. So let's suppose they are playing 5 bets in a day. 5 bets in a day. So total how much it will become? 5 into this 20,000, which is nothing but 1 lakh rupee. Okay, Now for 30 days they are going to trade. This is per day, and for 30 days, that means 30 into this 1 lakh rupees, so 30 lakhs rupees they are going to win. They are going to play with the total amount. The total amount is 30 lakhs rupees. Now as we discussed, winning charges are 50-50, so let it be A wins 15 lakhs and same as B wins 15 lakhs. Now as we discussed, if A wins, A has to pay this 2%. So what is the 2% of this 15 lakhs? This into 2%, 30,000 rupees. So he has to pay, so that means 15 lakhs minus 30,000. Total how much he will be? He is investing 15 lakhs in a month, or rather I can say 10,000 rupees only he is investing, but the total amount played is nothing but 15 lakhs. Out of 15 lakhs, where he has to pay 30,000 rupees as the charges of playing that game. 30,000 rupees as charges of playing that game. So end of the month he will be having out of his capital 30% loss. 30% loss. See, the winning rate is 50-50, but still he is with 30,000 loss. Okay, but whereas in case of B, of course he has to pay the same, but he is a receiver, so plus his capital plus brokerage, so 15, or rather charges. So total how much he is going to get? His winning team plus opposite, whenever A loses also he is paying, right? So 15 lakh 60,000. So net profit is this minus 15 lakhs, which is nothing but 60,000 rupees in a month. Now believe me guys, I am talking about only 1% of fee. This is 50-50. Winning probability is 50-50. So even though there is a chances of 50% winning and 50% losing, by just taking a small edge of 1%, I'm talking about small edge of 1%, a very tiny small edge of 1%, B is going to make 60,000 rupees in a month. 60,000 rupees in a month. Now what if this is a 5% chances, or what if this winning ratio is 40-60? Let's suppose a B wins with a 60%. That means the winning probability, I'm trying to improve the winning probability, what it will be. So this is one kind of study. Then what is the winning probability in our trade, sir? How we can decide that? That's what the question is. That is what I am talking, where entry exactly plays a role, vital role. See, your entry matters. Your entry matters a lot. Let's suppose if a stock is moving like this, like this, like this, like this. Now what do you think? It will go up or down? As per our previous study, whenever the stock is coming to this level, it's trying to raise this level, so there is a high probability of going up. Now you are supposed to take entry here, not here. Here you are not supposed to take entry for long. Your entry matters. No, people look at this and they say, sir, there is a breakout, the stock is started flying very high, I have taken an entry, and the moment I take an entry it started falling down. This is how it happens. Your entry trigger point is itself wrong. I'm talking about entry points, EPs. EPs are very, very, very important. Your entry point is going to decide whether you are going to make it a big profitable trade or loss trade. And whenever it comes to this zone, it's trying to fall. Now if you look at the Nifty chart, look at this. This is acting as a support. So you are not supposed to short here. No, that can fail, because you are supposed to buy there. You are supposed to buy there. I don't say that it will not fail. It may fail. It may fail. But even if you fail, also it fails. Or it fails also. It is a very small lesson. Okay. But if you win, you are going to win big. In this case, yes. Look at this. You are nifty. It is at support. You are supposed to take an entry here. So I am talking about that small edge. That 1% I am talking. Now you have to take an entry, buy entry here. Look at the beauty. Almost from 9297 to 9376, 80 points move. 80 points move. Nifty lot size is 75. 80 points is nothing but 6,000 rupees in one future lot. Even if you take a call option also 9,400 also, it may give you somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000 rupees. And whenever it is going to the high, it's trying to fall. Look at this, as we discussed here. So if you are taking an entry here, what kind of entry it should be? It should be a short entry. It should be a short entry. And look at the beauty. It started falling down. So what I'm trying to tell you is that 1% favorable to you when you are taking entry. That is what it's going to decide whether you are going to make it or break it. That's it. As simple as that. You don't need to see, I say that, but don't make a more complicated system. I really believe in this. Don't add 100 indicators or 50 indicators, 20 indicators, and don't mess up your chart. Make it as simple as that. Strictly follow price action and candlesticks with a few kind of whatever the indicators are. In our future class we are going to explain how pivot points can help you, or kind of things that can help you better. But look at this, you don't find any kind of indicators on my charts. It's a pure simple chart. Simple chart with volume, candles and volumes. That's all. That can make more clear. Only thing is your entry should be favor of you. It should not be like 50-50. It should have that 1% or 2% of winning chances. Now how we are going to draw these levels with a favorable profit, favorable in favor of our trade. How we are making entry according to that, what we can use to make it easy. That is what we're studying, right? To make it easy, we have support resistance levels, we have supply demand zones, we have channel high levels, we have moving averages, we have pivot levels, we have Fibonacci numbers, we have RSI numbers, we have Gann numbers. These all can help you by giving you that 1% extra edge when compared to 50-50. 50-50. Don't go with a 50-50. Take a small edge and make it simple. You are going to make it. You are going to make it a big amount. Now, sir, is it really works? If I go with a 50-50 success rate, will it work? That is what I say. Your risk reward is more and more important. 1 minute, guys. Your risk reward is more important. Now what is this cost based reward? Guys, it may take more 5 to 10 minutes, so please bear with me. What is this risk reward, and how do we use it? Till now we studied how to take a small edge in the 50-50% of market, because buyer can win 50%, seller can win 50%, but how it can be favorable to you so that you can make it in a better way. That's what we have discussed. But by taking that small edge of these kind of things, this edge can be a support resistance level, or can be a supply demand zone, can be a any other things which we are going to deal from tomorrow. Now, is it really matters with the 50-50% of winning rate? Can we make good money? Is it possible? Is it really possible? Practically, is it possible? Yes. Let me explain you this. First of all, what is risk reward? Risk reward is what is the kind of risk you are taking to get a reward from the market. Now let's suppose if someone invested 10,000 rupees, obviously we don't say that 10,000 rupees you let it make it zero, or let it make one more 10,000, right? We don't say like that. Let's suppose if someone is making 10,000 rupees, then they may take a risk of rupees 500 to make a rupees 500. That means if he lose, he is going to lose 500. If he wins, he is going to win 500 rupees. Of course, brokerage charges extras, that is different case. Okay, so we exclude that for the time being, then later on I will discuss about that. Now, so once it goes into red, if you see the number of red 500 here, then you are going to close this trade, that we call it as stop loss or risk. And what will be your reward? Reward will be 500. That means your target which is nothing but reward. Now let me tell you what is the risk reward ratio, the ratio between these two. So it's a 500 plus 500, which is nothing but 1:1. What if someone is taking a risk of 1000 rupees to make 500 rupees? Yes, there are people, because they say that their risk reward is good. Sir, I am following 1:1.5 risk reward. They say that, they take entry but the moment they see 500 rupees profit, and see, market will be having pullbacks. Someone might have shorted here, and the moment it started coming up, they may think that market has taken a reversal and it's better to book profits. So they close their entry before it hits the target like this. 50 rupees, 100 rupees is okay, but see, this not even half it came. So they close by 500 rupees profit when compared to 1000 rupees risk. People are very happy. They say that I am very happy with my 20 points, 30 points, or kind of 500 rupees profit. It doesn't matter. But what if you are going to lose? You are going to lose 1000 rupees. So they are following a risk reward of 2:1. They are following a risk reward of 2:1. So that's what exactly it matters. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. So there is a possibility of winning ratios, risk reward ratios 1:1, 1:2, 2:1, or 1:3 are kind of things. Now in this case, I am talking about risk reward 1:1, risk reward of 2:1. 2:1 is nothing but when you lose, you are going to lose 1000 rupees. When you are winning, you are going to win 500 rupees. So these kind of differences are there. Let's take an example of 2-3 conditions, and let's decide this, how it is going to make you. Okay. 1 minute. Now let's suppose risk reward ratio. Now let's suppose someone is having a 2:1 risk reward, 2:1. 1 second, guys. Yep. Sorry guys, the practical difficulties, right? Because of the lockdown. Okay, that's okay. Now there are different kind of risk rewards. Like few people may book at early stages, and few people wait for their targets, and they follow kind of a 1:1 risk reward, or 2:1 risk reward, or 1:1.5, or 1:2 risk reward. Let's have a small look into that. Quick look. Let's suppose someone is having a risk reward of 2:1, right? And another one is having risk reward of 1:1. And how about 1:2? And let's take 1:3. What exactly is this now? This is the risk and this is the reward they are going to make. So let's suppose if someone is able to risk 2000 rupees to make a profit of 1000. Here 1000 rupees risk, 1000 rupees reward. Here 1000 rupees risk for 2000 rupees reward. Here 1000 rupees risk for 3000 rupees profit. See, 1:2 risk reward. Is it possible to gain in market? Yes, it is possible. So this risk is completely the amount which you are ready to lose, and this is the profitable amount which you are looking, or which is your target, right? Now, so this is the risk reward, and let's suppose the success rate. Mm, let's suppose the success rate is 40% only. 40% success. What if there is a 40% success rate, and let's suppose someone is having 10,000 rupees and they made 5 trades in a day. 3 4 5, right? Now we discussed about 4 risk rewards. 2 is to 1, 1 is to 1, 1 is to 2, 1 is to 3. Let's suppose we continue this for 2 3 4. Okay. Now why do we need 4? Wait, I'll tell you. Don't get confused with all these numbers or calculations. It's so easy. The summary what you are going to gain, you just concentrate on that. Okay, right? Everything is in this. Now in this stage we are targeting about 40%. Yep. Here 60%, here 80%. Okay, plus 3 are enough, we don't need this at all. Total 5 trades. Now what does this mean? 40% success rate means out of 5 only 2 are green. 60% means 3 are green. 80% means 4 are green. So they could able to win 4 trades. 60% success means 3 trades. 40% success rate means only 2 trades. Now 2 trades with risk reward of 2 is to 1. How much you are going to win for each trade? 1000 rupees you win. 1000 rupees you win, and loss is minus 2000, minus 2000, minus 2000. So in net, whether it is good or bad, in a long run, we don't finish it in a day, right? We trade for a long time. Every day 3 4 trades we do, and we do it consistently. So after one series, or say kind of 1 month, what it is going to happen, we'll see that. So let's suppose if someone is going with a 2 is to 1 risk reward, this is the result. Now let's suppose 1 is to 1. So win is 1000, lose also 1000. Minus 1000, remaining 2 also minus. Okay. Now what if 1 is to 2? 1 is to 2 means if they win, they are going to win 2000 rupees. So 2000, 2000, and here loss is minus 1000. And same with this. If lose, loss is 1000. If win, profit is 3000. 3000. Like this is the first case. Now let's concentrate about the remaining. Don't get confused, I'll change the numbers. Now here one more trade with the success. So this is this. Here 2 more trades with success. Right? Now you check it up. If a person with 2 is to 1 risk reward, where he is risking 2000 rupees to gain 1000 rupees profit, even his strategy is having 80% success rate also. Even his strategy is having 80% success rate also, he is making just 2000 rupees. He is making just 2000 rupees profit. Apart from that, 60%, 40% he is in red. So that's very dangerous. Now what if 1 is to 1 risk reward? 1:1 risk reward, 40% danger, but from that time onward 60%, 80% he could able to close it in green. Now 1:2 risk reward, even though the success rate is 40%, he is in profit. All time he is in profit. Look at the person who is at the risk reward of 1:3. He just won 2 trades, he lost 3 trades, but still he is in solid green. Solid green. In all other 3 scenarios, he is in green. Now if you check this sheet overall, is it really matters about the success rate? Is it the matter of success rate? No. Success rate, even though 40%, if your strategy is having 40% success rate also, you can make profit if you are having good risk reward. Good risk reward. That is the reason every time I say maintain at least 1:2 risk reward. 1:2 risk reward. If you lose 1000 rupees. If you win 2000 rupees. If you are having better risk rewards of 1:5, 1:4, then that is really good. But if you follow at least 1:2, I'm talking about here 40%. But by default, we have a 50% winning rate, either buyer win or seller win. So we are working with a 50% success rate. And again, we are taking the edge for the entry. As I told you, as I explained previously, when the wave is moving, we take entry at this level. So we take the edge. So it's more than 50% success rate we are having. 50% plus edge. So more than 50% probability we are having to win a trade with a 1:2 risk reward. Obviously, we will end up every day in green, right? So bottom of the line, what I'm trying to tell you is, in today's session, it doesn't matter what the time frame you are following. It doesn't matter what is the success rate you have. It doesn't matter what kind of strategy you have. To win market, we don't need all those. If someone is telling you that there is a strategy which can make you millionaire, or you just learn this, learn that, no, nothing is going to help you. Believe me friends, this is 100% sure. No one is going to make money in the market with a kind of strategy or kind of things. All you should follow is your entry should be correct. You should have a good entry. It doesn't matter if you don't get entry, then leave it for today. No trade is better than lost trade. Leave it, not an issue. And then your risk reward. Your risk reward is more and more important. That's the key to success. And in tomorrow's session, we complete this risk management and money management, and then we jump into support resistance levels and supply demand zones. How to take the edge, that extra edge I am talking about. Okay. So with this, I just want to conclude. Don't follow and don't become prey to those people who are telling about 90% success ratio strategy, 80% success rate strategy kind of things. Don't follow all those. It doesn't matter what kind of success rate your strategy is having. It only matters what kind of risk reward your strategy is having. Risk reward is more important. So maintain at least 1:2 risk reward and take a good entry. That's all you need, nothing more than that. This can make you a profitable trader in a consistent mode. And I explained you why Nifty failed today very clearly, why this Greystone doji failed today. So these kind of things we should avoid, because this entry is not good. Here the entry is perfect. Here for the entry for buyer is perfect. So again, don't ask me which time frame suits you. Don't ask me which strategies suits you. Don't ask me which stock suits you. First, you find it out whether you are an investor or trader or intraday trader, swing trader, short-term trader. You decide what kind of trader you are, what kind of time frame it is matching to you. See, everyone, the syllabus is same, the teacher is same, classroom is same, experiments are same. but few people are becoming scientists, few becoming engineers, few becoming doctors, few becoming teachers, few are going to become employees, few are, of course, they are starting their own entrepreneurships. So it all depends on how the student receiving it and how is the caliber or capabilities. It never matters what kind of teacher or what kind of strategy the teacher is having. It only matters how the student is receiving. In the same way, in trading, it doesn't matter what kind of time frame I am using. So many people are asking me, sir, what time frame you use? I use according to me. So trading completely depends on psychology. It varies from person to person. It's you who knows it better and who has to decide it, which time frame suits you. It's a 5 minutes or 3 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour. And again, whether the kind of entry you are making is good or not, and are you following a good risk reward or not, that is what you require, then you can make success. And yes, if you ask me, I follow for intraday 5 minutes and 1 hour, and for daily for positional 1 hour daily, weekly. So I follow 3 different time frames. For intraday, I take entry and exit with take entry exit with 5 minutes, and trend identification with 1 hour, and drawing levels with 1 hour and daily. And for positional, I take entry based on 15 minutes closing, and I follow 1 hour daily and 1 weekly. These 3 different time frames charts I look at. I draw my levels on daily basis and weekly basis for positional, right? With this, I just want to conclude it. It doesn't matter strategy, risk, success rate, and time frame. It only matters you need to explore yourself. You need to identify yourself, which kind of trader you are, which time frame is suiting you. All you need is good entry with a good risk reward. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow.